everyone, I'm Sarah of Rich Textures Crochet and welcome. Today we're going to learn how to crochet the Ember Stitch. This is a fairly unique looking, really neat looking stitch pattern. It's created working some textured stitches along with some cluster stitches, as you'll see, and it's just a lot of fun to work. It shows off its texture really well when worked with two different colors. This is the back of your work, and then this is your front. So today for the tutorial, I am going to be using two different colors of yarn, a yellow and a green here. This is the Basics Stitch anti-pilling yarn by Lion Brand, as well as a 5mm or an H8 crochet hook, and this is a metal streamline hook by Furls. Links to these items will be in the description of this video. Down there you will also find a direct link to the free written instructions, which are on my website at richtexturescrochet.com. So thank you so much for joining me. While you're here, I invite you to take a look around. Don't forget to subscribe and say hello down in the comments. Let's grab our hooks and yarn and get started. Now our stitch today is worked in rows. We're going to start by making a slip knot, and I'm working with my color A, which will be my green color here. You're then going to make a foundation chain, and your foundation chain for this stitch simply needs to be an even number of stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and chain 22 chains, just a multiple of 2. Once you have that foundation chain worked, you're going to begin row 1 by working a single crochet into the second chain from your hook, and then single crochet into each stitch all the way across. At the end of your row 1, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. Your chain 1 does not count as a stitch, so for row 2 we're going to begin by working a single crochet into the first stitch at the base of our turning chain. You're then going to chain 1, skip the next stitch, and work a single crochet into the next stitch. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, single crochet into your next. You're going to repeat this all the way across until you come to your final stitch. When you come to your final stitch, you're going to switch to your color B, and I'll show you how to do that in just one moment. When you come all the way across, you want to switch to your color B in the final stitch. So you're going to finish off row 2 by working your chain 1, skip the next stitch, then into your final stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, and draw up a loop. You can then drop that color A, pick up your color B, and place it on your hook. Some people might like to work a slip knot. It's up to you. You're then going to pull through your final 2 loops. That is how you switch to your color B. You can then chain 3, and I'm just going to work around those tails, 1, 2, 3, and turn your work. We're now going to work a cluster stitch for row 3 into the first chain 1 space. To work your cluster stitch, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the chain 1 space, yarn over, draw up a loop. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. You're going to do that twice more into the same chain 1 space. Yarn over, insert your hook into the chain 1 space, yarn over, draw up a loop. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. One more time, yarn over, insert your hook into the same chain 1 space, yarn over and draw up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. You'll then have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. You're then going to chain 1 and repeat. Work a cluster stitch into the next chain 1 space. And chain 1. You're skipping that single crochet in between and simply working your cluster stitches into the chain 1 spaces. You're going to repeat this all the way across until you come to your final chain 1 space and final cluster stitch. When you come all the way across to your final chain 1 space, you're going to work a cluster stitch into the final chain 1, and then you're simply going to double crochet into the final stitch. So there is no chain 1 after the cluster. Simply work your cluster, then double crochet. Chain 1 and turn your work. Now for row 4, we're going to work a single crochet into each stitch, beginning with the top of the double crochet, then into your cluster, and then each chain 1 space all the way across. So single crochet into the top of each stitch and in each chain 1 space all the way across. In your final stitch, you're going to switch back to your color A. Your final single crochet is worked into the top of your turning chain, and then simply to switch back to your color A, pick up your color A, which was still attached to your work, yarn over and pull through. Now, if you need to, depending on the project you're working, you can fasten off and weave in your ends each time. For this, or if you're going to have an edging or something that's going to hide these little tails, I'm just pulling them straight up. You can then chain 1 and turn your work. Now for row 5, we're going to work a single crochet into our first stitch. You're then going to work a front post double crochet around the middle post of your cluster stitch, 2 rows below. So yarn over and bring your hook in front of your work, and then find that middle post of your cluster stitch 2 rows below and insert your hook from front around back and out through the front again. So you're not working around the entire cluster, you're only working under that middle post. Yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 more. You're going to single crochet into your next stitch. You'll note that you're not working in the stitch behind that cluster or that front post double crochet, you're just working into the next stitch. You're then going to repeat that all the way across. Work a front post double crochet around the middle post in that cluster stitch 2 rows below, and then a single crochet into the next stitch. Front post, double crochet around the middle post of your next cluster stitch, and then single crochet into your next stitch. Repeat that all the way across. At the end of your row 5, you're going to work a single crochet into that final stitch, then chain 1 and turn your work. Now for row 6, we're going to single crochet into our first stitch, chain 1, skip the next stitch, and single crochet into your next. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet into your next stitch, and repeat this all the way across. When you come to the end of your row 6, you're going to switch back to your color B in the final stitch. So switching back to your color B, which is just down along the side of your work, pull through. You can then chain 3 and turn your work. Now for the rest of the pattern, you're going to repeat your rows 3, 4, 5, and 6, changing color every 2 rows. So your row 3 began with that double crochet cluster stitch into each chain 1 space, all the way across, followed by your chain 1, then your single crochet row, then your front post double crochet row, and then your single crochet and chain 1 space row that we just worked. So repeat rows 3, 4, 5, and 6 for as long as you would like, then fasten off, weave in your ends, and that's all there is to working this beautiful ember stitch. So thank you so much for joining me once again. If you happen to try this stitch and share it on social media, do be sure to tag Rich Textures Crochet. I always love to come by and admire your work. And until next time, happy crocheting. Bye.